So Teresa Heath-Wareing, who has, you don't know this, Teresa, who has been called the queen of social media. I'll tell you later who said that. Please welcome to our stage. Today we have Teresa Heath-Wareing. Yay!
Hooray, Teresa! Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. So, I missed who was taking the notes. I'm going to write a blog post this. I feel for you. That's all I can say, because I talk really fast. So if you need to come back and ask me anything, then please feel free, because I've got lots I want to tell you today and I want to get it in as fast as I can, just so that I give you as much value for your time, because I really appreciate there are a million things we could be doing and probably should be doing, i.e. homeschooling and all that. By the way, I just give up now. I don't actually care whether she homeschools or not. She's there at the computer. That's the way I deal with things. Got to stop worrying about these things. That's my opinion anyway. So I'm going to show you today about building your email list. It's one of the most important things that you can do in your business. So I believe, I love social media, but we don't own our social media. We use these accounts, we build our profiles, we engage with our audience, but anything can go wrong at any point, and therefore we are left without it. And therefore, an email list is so important, because it belongs to you, it's yours, and you haven't got to fight with an algorithm every time you want to communicate with them. So I'm going to share my screen, 2 seconds. So hopefully you can see my screen. I'm going to bring you guys back over here. I want to just bring you all back on the screen so I can see you all, because I like seeing all your faces. Okay, so you are in the right place today if you are a small business owner and you know you need an email list. We all know we need an email list. So if you're sat here thinking, I need this. Oh, Siri just spoke to me. That's never happened. Let me just put him on airplane mode. I don't think we need to speak to Siri today. That's weird. Anyway, whatever I said sounds like Siri. Let's carry on. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you want some easy to follow steps. We want everything easy, don't we? Unfortunately, life isn't always that easy. You are confused with what the process should be, and maybe you are still struggling to get people on your list. So you might know how to get them on, but they're just not getting on for whatever reason. And it might feel like a completely different foreign language, because we're all good at the social media, we're getting to grips with all that. And then you enter this realm of an email list and it just feels like a completely different thing. So here's what you're going to learn by hanging out with me today. The 5 steps to building your email list. So we're going to look at the 5 steps that I teach. And when I do the Build My List course, we go really in depth, obviously. So I am giving you the highlight version of what we need to do in order to build our email list. So, but in case you don't know me, because there are lots of faces on here that I don't recognize, so it's lovely to see so many people. I am Teresa Heath-Wareing. I am an award-winning international speaker. I am also the host of the podcast Marketing That Converts. And I have been very blessed to have some amazing guests on my podcast. I've interviewed Amy and Dean Graziosi, Michael Hyatt, James Wedmore, Jasmine, and obviously Mike Stelzner. So I am very lucky to have connected with those people. But basically, this is me. I don't normally do anything on a Friday, just so you know. I only said yes because this was Sarah Clay, and I was, and I thought she's a friend, let's do it. Normally, because by about this time, I'm normally starting with the gin, if I'm quite honest, or a glass of fizz or a glass of wine. So that's pretty much where you find me, either having a drink or kicking around with my family. I am a mum, a stepmom, a dog mum, not through my choice, by the way. And my husband was a military man and works away. So we have a busy life. Okay, so let's get on with it. 5 steps to building your email list. Step 1, know your customer. I hear the groans. I know this. I talk about this all the time and people get really sick and tired of it. But basically, before you all go, I've done this, I don't need to do this again, Teresa. I just want you to bear with me and just hang on 1 minute. So I'm not just after are they male or female? What age are they? What location they're in? Have they got children? I don't just want to know the basics. I want us to go much deeper into this. So I want you to start thinking, and I want you to say in your head, could you answer these following questions about your most perfect customer? And if you have more than one customer, which lots of us do, then I just want you to pick either your most favorite type of customer or the one that earns you the most money. So pick that customer and start to think, could I answer any of these questions? Where do they shop? Who are they following on social media? What magazines or books do they read? And how do they spend their free time? Because when I do training around picking your perfect customer and coming up with your avatar, I go really deep, because when we know these things, we can really start to communicate with them on that level that's going to engage them and let them know we know who they are and we see them. But the main questions I want you to be able to answer are questions like, what are their pain points? Now, you may or may not have heard this term before, but when I talk about pain points, what I'm talking about is, what is the problem that they have got that you are helping fix? Okay. So someone who, I'm going to try and pick examples of some of the people that I know we've got in the room in terms of the businesses you're in. Someone who wants someone to do their social media for them, their pain point isn't they want someone to do their social media for them. And you might sit there and think, well, that sounds a bit odd. Not at all. What it is they want more customers, they want more sales, they want a successful business. The route to that just happens to be social media. So therefore, the pain isn't, I really want someone to do my social media. The pain is, there is this thing that I've got to do in order to get more sales. If you're a coach, the pain that someone's got, they may not know that you're the solution. So for instance, the pain that a coach might deal with is frustration or annoyance or feeling stuck or just not managing or just going through life feeling like, nah. And they might not know that a coach is the solution. So when you think about your pain points, it's not so much about the pain that you're fixing in the sense of, oh, well, the pain is they need someone to do their social media. No, that's not the pain. So do you know, and can you write down what their pain points are and what their aspirations are? What are they trying to get to? What is the goal for their business or for themselves? You know, where, if they're here today with this pain, where is it they're trying to get to? What is the thing they're ultimately trying to get? So this is one of the, I like to give you a bit of the how to do this. So I get people on a call, I get them on a Zoom call, or I have done in the past, and I interview my ideal customer. I pick either a customer that is a current, client or in my membership, and I ask them if I can interview them. And I ask them questions about how they feel. I ask them things like, how do you feel when you have to do social media for your business? How do you feel when you're setting up an email list? How do you, feel about your business? What frustrates you in your business? But the one thing I ask them that is like the best question ever is, if I could wave a magic wand, like, what could I do to your life, to your business, to your home, to your, whatever you serve? Obviously, we've got VAs, we've got web people, we've got coaches, podcast people. If I could wave a magic wand, what would I do? And that is like, that question is just brilliant, because it's like, oh, allow me to dream and tell you where I want to get to. So if that's one of the ways that you can start to dig around as to who your customers and what they do. Okay, going the wrong way. So once you've found out who your customer is and you've worked out what their pain points are, and like I said, we're just going to think of one customer at the moment. The next thing was, we're going to give them a reason to get on our list, okay? People, when they have websites, they sneak like quietly in the bottom of the corner, do you want to be on my email list? Like as if it's some kind of secret and no one ever sees it, or hardly anybody ever opts in. And if you all think of your websites now and think about the opt-in forms you've got on there, if it's just a join my newsletter list, being completely honest, how many people are opting in? It's because no one woke up this morning and thought, hey, I wonder if Teresa Heath-Wareing's got an email list. I'll go to a website and check it out, and I'll find it on that page, wherever she's hid it, and opt in. They're not thinking that. You've got to give them a reason to get on your email list. People don't just do things for the kindness of their heart, which would be lovely if everyone just flooded onto my email list for that reason. But unfortunately, they are in it for them, and they want to know what it is that you can provide them and how you can help them. So the reason we're going to give them is a lead magnet. A lead magnet is an incentive that marketers offer and business owners offer to potential buyers in exchange for their email address. So basically, you're going to give me something, if I'm your ideal customer, that I'm going to look at. And first, I'm going to think, oh, did you just jump in my head and listen to what I just said? Like, I keep coming back to the coach only because I can see Mike on my screen, but like, you know, Mike's like, carry on, I'll have all the ideas. So like, if you're a coach, I might be sat here thinking, I am so exhausted and so fed up and I just don't know where to turn. And if Mike's creating something and the title is, are you exhausted, fed up and you don't know where to turn? I read that and I'm like, no way, Mike, that is exactly how I feel. Well, Teresa, obviously would say Teresa, download my blah, 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 which helps you with blah, 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 blah. So you want people to want to opt into something that is going to help them. And that's where those pain points come from. That's why it's so important, because what are the things that they're having the most trouble with? How can you help them? And this is where a lead magnet comes from. And in exchange, they give you their email address. So here's an example for you. This is the lovely Stu McLaren. If you do memberships, you might know Stu. I have an illness. I think it is an illness, where basically if I get a lead magnet offered to me, I opt into it. Because I obviously don't have any hobbies and this is my world. And I basically just opt into all these lead magnets just to see their process, just to screenshot it all, just to go, oh, that's interesting. They did that. What system are they using? I know I need to get out more. But this is one from Stu McLaren. It was an advert that was served me on Facebook. Free membership guide, download now. He's got a lovely picture of the actual thing that it's doing. At the bottom, learn the exact steps to build a successful membership business. Ooh, I've got a membership. I'd like that, Stu. Thanks very much. So I click on that download button, or I click on the image, and it takes me to this landing page here on the left-hand side. And the landing page, you know, is very similar, or it has some color similarities. It has some text similarities. It's got the same sort of images. And it basically says to me, you know, do you want this thing? This is why it's so good. There's a button on there that obviously says, you know, download your free guide. I click on that button and this box pops up on the right-hand side. And all he's asking me for is my email address, and I get it. Brilliant. Why wouldn't I want that thing? And then once I put in my details, I get taken to a thank you page. And on this thank you page, Stu is telling me, hey, this is on your way. If it's the first time, you need to check your spam because it might be in there. And before you go, why not join my Facebook group? So I might think, yeah, Stu, I'm going to join your Facebook group. And then over on my email, lovely Stu has delivered me within seconds the email with the download of the thing that I was expecting. So that is basically a lead magnet process start to finish that we would see and experience as a customer. Okay. So you go back to your pain points and you think, what is one thing that my customer is really struggling with right now? What is the one thing that I can help them with? So podcasters, for instance, often start doing stuff on their own and then maybe go into the point of give someone the opportunity to, you know, manage their podcast or to edit their podcast. So you might offer a lead magnet that says 5 things you absolutely need to get started with a podcast. Because if I'm thinking about having a podcast, I'm going to think, oh, actually, that could be really helpful. If you are a social media manager and you want to assist someone in, so for instance, you have a done for you service where you do their social media, help them in understanding social media and the importance of it. And then obviously the lead magnet you give them might be sort of 5 things you can do to get more followers. If you are a social media manager, I'm telling you now, that is the one lead magnet that goes down a storm. People, even though we sit here with such frustration going, it's not about the followers, all they ever want is followers. So if you have 5 ways to get more followers, I'm telling you, they are opting in. But like, you know, they'll look at that and I know what people are going to say. Well, if I give them the thing, if I give them the tool or the tip or the whatever, then they're not going to come to me, are they? Because I'm giving them my information. But the truth is they are going to come to you because 1, you're not tailoring it direct to them and their business. 2, there's a big difference between Mike doing a PDF of 5 things I can do to feel better and me actually feeling better. And 3, often with things like one of the students on the course was a Facebook ads. She did a Facebook ad thing. They look at it and go, pooh, no thanks. Like, really appreciate that information, but I've realized that is not for me. So never be afraid to give out that information because you want it to be good. Okay. So step 3, the tech. Oh my God, right? So I've just ran this Build My List course, first time ever. Had 30 students on it as a beta test. And we got to the tech bit. Oh my goodness, like 4 different email systems I had to go through and learn start to finish. I know a lot anyway. But like This was the bit where everyone got stuck, without doubt. And actually, when they all went through the step-by-step videos and they had my video playing next to them physically doing it as they followed it along, they were like, I have no idea how on earth anybody would know how to do this if you hadn't shown us. It's a pain in the backside. That's all I'm going to say. But it doesn't have to be impossible. It just, if you don't know it, it's difficult. So the tech is really important because you're not going to be able to do this without the tech. So obviously, here are some things that you might recognize. We've got MailerChimp, I've just merged the two together. MailerLite, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, Kajabi. I have to say, when I first started this exercise, and the whole point of doing the beta student thing with only 30 of them was so I could learn and make it even more kick-ass than it is already. One of the ones that everyone wanted was MailChimp. I went through the MailChimp process. It sucked. Like, it was bad. So bad, I can't even tell you. Worse than I ever thought. And in fact, I had to get on a call with a MailChimp expert and go, please tell me this isn't right and I'm being stupid and this is wrong. And she was like, no, that is right. And they do the most stupid things. Anyway, so if you are thinking about MailChimp, I would lean you over to MailerLite, much better and still free. But yeah, so these are the different systems you're looking at. And if you're looking to grow your business and you're looking to go forward with, say, a membership or a course, then you really want to start looking at the bigger platforms, the likes of ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, and absolutely Kajabi. I use Kajabi for everything, because the move time is a pain in the backside. We were on Infusionsoft, and we moved all our landing pages, all our systems, all our emails over to Kajabi. It took my husband 2 weeks full time to move everything across and rebuild it in Kajabi. It was a nightmare. So if you can make a step not to be on a free one, then great, you're going to thank yourself at a later date, but I get it. But those are the systems that we cover, and those are the systems I can teach on in the course as well. Although, don't go to MailChimp, I promise you, like, I've tried to be kind. Okay. So, I've left a slide in there that I shouldn't have left in. Okay, step 4, get the signups. So this is the next thing. So once you've created this lovely lead magnet and you've put it all in the tech and it all works and it's great, you're going to then go, why isn't anybody signing up to my lead magnet? I've created it. And surely if you build it, they will come. No, that's not the case. If you build it and tell someone once and tell them again and tell them again and tell them again, and then 3 months later, after telling them consistently for every single week, then they might go, oh, what's this, Teresa? I locked in. I can assure you, this is something that is so important, because what people do, and I had this in the academy, I had a lovely academy member come to me and said, I don't think my lead magnet's working. And I was like, why? She said, because I've only had 4 opt-ins. And I was like, okay, cool. So I had a look at it. I said, I think it looks all right. It looks fine. I said, where have you posted it? What, where's it been? She went, put it on Instagram stories twice. I was like, okay, 48 hours. She's like, I did a post on Facebook and I did a post on LinkedIn. I was like, oh man, and 300 people didn't opt in. Are you crazy? Like, we would love it to be the case, absolutely love it to be the case, but unfortunately, it's not as easy as that. So we need to put some time and effort into promoting it, and we need to keep promoting it. Now, I am also a huge Agorapulse fan, and I use Agorapulse, and I have a whole category in Agorapulse called lead magnets, and in that category, I have something like 20 odd posts, 3 posts per lead magnet that I have. So let me see if this next slide is a slide. So you need to create different posts. So here's an example of one of my lead magnets. I have a launch checklist that takes you through everything you need to do for launching. That's also a huge process as well. Because do you know what? I'm just going to go off on a side, right? I'm a little bit tired. I've been in marketing 16 years. I have a degree in it. I'm pretty good at it, right? I know my stuff. And I am a wee bit tired of seeing lots of people going, hey, this will only take you 10 minutes or 5 steps, you're done. That is not the truth. I work so hard on my stuff. Anybody who is doing this knows how hard they work. Like, I would love there to be a secret hack. I'd love there to be a 2-minute thing of like, hey, just do this one thing, boom, done. Because I would give it you time after time. But unfortunately, there's not. So especially the lead magnet and list building, I'm giving you a very brief overview. The Build My List course is 10 days long. And when I say 10 days, it actually goes on for 2 weeks. You get me live on a Zoom like this for 10 days. And each call lasts up to 2 hours because I do some training and then I answer your questions. it is a big thing to do, but is it worth every single penny you spend and minute you spend on it? 1000% it is. Everyone on my list has come through a lead magnet. So it's totally worth your time. It's just maybe not as easy as some people can make it. Sorry, I digress. I'll get off my soapbox and carry on. So when you're doing a lead magnet, you don't just put one image or one post out there. So I create several different images. So obviously I've got a lovely clipboard one. I've got it fanned out. Sometimes it looks like it's fanned out on a desk. Sometimes it's on a computer screen or a phone or whatever. Sometimes I put my face. Obviously my face is my business, and it's like I'm the most egotistical person in the world, but my face is everywhere, so I will use my face on my lead magnet stuff. If your face isn't everywhere, then you might choose to only put up the post with the actual lead magnet on itself. But I have different posts that I put out, so for every lead magnet we do, we have at least 3 different images. This one in fact had 4 because it had a little video as well. So it's not just about creating that one thing and posting it out. And it's about putting it everywhere. And just as like a little overview of what we go into in the course, like you want to be talking about it when you're speaking. If you get to speak in a network thing, if you do a 60 seconds, you want to put it in your blog post. That's called a content upgrade. And they are brilliant. If you're a podcaster, content upgrades are the best. Same thing as lead magnet, just different name, slightly different reasoning. But groups, what groups are you in? If they don't mind, then share a lead magnet. Obviously you ask them, and there is this saying, you ask forgiveness, then it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Now obviously I'm not running these groups, they could kick your backside for all I know, but you could put it there. I'm always very open in my academy. I let people post whatever they want. Facebook ads, obviously now Facebook ads have had a bit of a tricky time over these last couple of weeks. They're a pain in the bum, but all my lead magnets I've put through Facebook ads and they've gone really, really well. In fact, I had one of the students posted saying she had put £39 to her ad to promote her new lead magnet that she'd created on the course. She'd had £50. She had 49 opt-ins and 1 person bought her product. What the? That is unbelievable. Way better than I could ever expected. If you've got pop-ups on your site or have them on your homepage of your website, and obviously on social media. And like I said, in Agora Pulse, I have a whole category and they go out consistently. Every single day on Twitter, I post a lead magnet of some sort. Once a week on Facebook, once a week on LinkedIn, because the truth is we will think, God, I've seen this post so many times, I'm so sick of it. But as we all know, organic reach is so low, it isn't gonna happen. They're not gonna see it. They're not gonna get sick of it. Okay, so step 5, what to email them. So this is the other bit that I give as a bonus in the course, because you know what happens, or you know what happened to me. I built a lead magnet. I've got 800 people on my list and did nothing with them, literally. She's so smart, isn't she? Literally looked at them. It's like I could have collected stamps. Look, all these people have got my email list. Do you want to email them? No, don't be stupid. Why would I email them? So step 5 is, what do we email them? Because once you start building a list, you've got to start emailing these people. So when we talk about what emails to send, I have 2 kinds. I have what I like to call a love letter, and then I have a newsletter. So I send to my list a couple of times a week, depending on how busy I am, a love letter. And by a love letter, it's text only. It normally is a story or a conversation. I've got an email going out on Monday talking about my stuff for my wall. You'll see if you've got eagle eye that I've got brick on that side and nothing on this side, because this foam thing that's meant to be soundproofing changed colour halfway through, and therefore we had to stop. And I'm speaking to them, we're getting it sorted. But anyway, so I write a story about that, and then I talk about, I actually lead it onto the course. Sounds like a real tenuous link. I promise you it's all right, actually. But, what are you going to email? So I email love letters. Sometimes I just email them chatting about something. Sometimes I tell them about how my day's been. Sometimes I share someone else's content, but it's normally just one thing I talk about, and it tends to be written as if I'm writing an email directly to you. So I always have someone from my academy in my head, and I think, oh, how would I write if I was talking to Jan, or if I was going to send an email to John? What would I put in that email? So that's what I call love letters. What I call newsletters are the more traditional style. Now, there is no right or wrong. And basically the newsletters are what you would see from a where you've got lots of different things. If you have a product, a newsletter's perfect, because you want to be able to have lots of different bits with lots of links where you send them off to different places. But then we talk about that, and we talk about kind of what sort of things can you include in a newsletter. And I have this huge list of things you can include. Okay, so I have gone fast. I knew I would. I've given you a brief overview. Like I said, it is a brief overview, but just to give you, no, Siri's talking on my watch. Jeez, man, I don't know what he thinks I'm doing. But any questions, I would love to answer them. Please do ask away.